Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTube. This is your friendly neighborhood midnight. Sorry, I'm not looking at this camera, but I'm looking out there. It is a beautiful Saturday afternoon, or morning, or evening, whenever you're watching this. I got stories to tell you from the Bible again. Depending on when you're reading this Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, whenever, Sunday. Yeah, that's the thing. Anyways, this one is titled The Shepherd and the Superpower. Moses' impossible mission, if I can read. Part 1. The fire that didn't burn. Moses was a man with a past. You all know that. Well, if you have not read the Bible, you wouldn't know that. But yeah. "40 years after fleeing Egypt as a wanted man," because if you go back, and I will go back for a while, if you go back, Moses was a wanted man by Pharaoh. So that's as far back as I'm going to go. Otherwise, just read the Bible for yourself in Exodus 23, I believe. Where was I? Oh, yes. Moses was a wanted man. He was living a quiet life. Quiet, dusty life. Tending sheep in the desert of Midian. But one afternoon, near the base of the Mount Horeb, he saw something that defied physics. A scruffy desert bush was engulfed in roaring flames. Yet the leaves stayed green. The branches didn't burn, didn't turn to ash. Curious, Moses stepped closer. Suddenly, a voice boomed from the fire. "Moses, Moses." "Here I am," he replied, trembling. "Do not come any closer," the voice warned. "Take off your sandals, for this, where you are standing, is holy ground." The impossible assignment. God didn't call Moses just for a chat. No. He had heard the cries of the Israelites, who were being crushed under Egyptian slavery. God's plan. He was going to rescue them and lead them to a land flowing with milk and honey. That's right, folks. Milk and honey. Sorry, folks. Anyways, and he wanted Moses to lead the way. Moses was terrified. He started making excuses immediately, saying, "Lord, who am I to lead your people?" God's answer, "I will be with you." But who am I to say that is picking with me? God's answer, I am the Alpha and Omega. I am the beginning and the end. I am who I am. What if they don't believe me? To the answer of the third question, God gave Moses three, I won't call it parlor tricks, but 3 things that he could do. First, his wooden staff that would turn into a living snake when he throws it down. Okay, say I had a staff, and I take the staff, throw it down on the ground, down there on the ground, and it turns into a literal snake. Then, the second one. His hand would become covered in leprosy and was instantly healed. Then the third one, he was told that if he poured water from the Nile onto the ground, it would turn to blood. Part 3. The reluctant hero. Even with God's powers, miraculous intervention, I would say, because it says superpowers. So I'm not using that, though. I'm using God's miraculous powers. Even with God's miraculous powers, Moses hesitated. Lord, I'm not a good speaker, he pleaded. I am slow of speech and tongue. God's patience finally wore thin. Maybe. Who gave humans their mouths? He asked. He eventually allowed Moses to take his brother Aaron to act as his spokesperson, saying, and I know this is true because I read it, Moses, look, on the other side of that mountain comes Aaron. For Aaron will be your mouthpiece. He will know how to say things even if you don't. Moses packed up his family, took his staff, and headed back to the one place he never wanted to see again, Egypt. Part 4, the confirmation. Midnight. Confrontation. There we go. He is going to confront the Pharaoh. Back in Egypt, things started well. Moses and Aaron met with the elders of Israel. When the people saw the signs and heard that God was coming to rescue them, they fell to their knees in worship. But the real test was yet to come. Moses and Aaron walked into the throne room of the most powerful man on earth, Pharaoh. "This is what the Lord says," they declared. "Let my people go." Pharaoh didn't even flinch. He looked at them with pure contempt. "Who is the Lord that I should obey him? I do not know the Lord, and I will not let Israel go." Instead of freedom, Pharaoh doubled down. He accused the people of being lazy and ordered his slave drivers to make their work even harder. The rescue mission had begun, but before things could get better, they were about to get much, much worse. Moses walked in with a message of hope, but he walked out of a death warrant for his people. How do you handle it when God tells you to do something and it immediately blows up in your face? Stick around for the next episode where the plagues of Egypt begins.